Zomgan. The world has already fallen. Remaining human survivors are oppressed under the iron rule of Zomgans, half-human, half-zombie hybrids who evolved from a viral outbreak that wiped out human civilization. The main character is a high school kid, or he was going to be one before something like a zombie outbreak happened and completely changed his life. After that, he became a Zomgan, which is like half-human, half-zombie. And yeah, I know I said that already, but who cares? He then goes around trying to kill himself by accidentally killing people. Well, that's until he meets someone that promises to kill him later. Now, good apocalyptic manhwas are very rare. You can literally count how many there are on your fingers, and with this one, you're getting a really good plot with it as well. So I'd say take it or leave it. It's up to you. Eyes. Now, for those of you who believe that humans evolved from monkeys or whatever, you're probably gonna unsubscribe after this. Wait, actually, it doesn't even matter. If you're kind of smart, you're gonna hate me either way. So let's forget about all that we know and imagine that back then we were as dumb as a chicken. And in order for us to reach the point where we're not dumb anymore and have become stupid, a man with the head of a bird had to teach us. So the next time someone calls you a bird brain, it's actually a compliment since, according to history, a bird is smarter than you. So this manhwa is literally about humans that gain superpowers from birdmen. And I must say that the story is just so interesting that I actually believe that birdmen existed. Or maybe they do, I don't know. And the art itself is pretty decent. All I'm saying is that if you're looking to read something weird but has a lot of action, then this fits perfectly. Blind Fate Descent. The story of a slave called Zion. Set in the Middle Eastern land, he is training to be a great necromancer, capable of fighting on even ground with knights, in order to have his long-awaited revenge as one of the 4 chosen children of Kronos. The story of this manhwa is pretty straightforward. It's about a slave that's alive who wants to have slaves that are dead. I don't know if I explained that right, but whatever. There's quite literally not much to say, so basically, if boring necromancing without much action and going on a journey with the MC is your thing, this was definitely made for you. Trust me. Knockin on the dungeon door. One day, a faint-hearted Hyunbuk Kim opens his apartment door and is startled to find a dungeon full of monsters instead of the world he knows. At first he hides, but when all else fails, it falls to Hyunbuk to defeat the dungeon bosses or die trying. Luckily, he's not alone. With the help of his skeleton friends, he develops his rare talent for magic while learning about bravery and friendship. So this is a gradual growth type manhwa, which basically means that you get to experience everything the MC goes through, and his accomplishments on becoming stronger, which personally, I don't mind. But the problem with these kind of stories is that it gradually gets boring over time, until you lose interest. But if you're just out here looking for something to read that isn't total trash, then there's no problem with reading this. Red Dolls. In a dystopian world, Crazy Dog, a bionic mercenary, must fight humans transformed into monsters, and that's pretty much as detailed as it gets. It's basically fights after fights, so in case you're a pacifist, I doubt you'd enjoy this, but if you clicked on this video, there's a high chance that you like seeing fights and people getting killed, you know, just saying. Since that's exactly what you'll be getting here. Now, fights are pointless if the art looks like it was done by someone who has never drawn in their life. So as you'd expect from something this good, that the art is excellent. Well, it's good enough to the point where you can't complain about it. At least for me it was. Dragon Ego. Just to start off with, I'm not going to recommend you guys read this if you don't like manhwas with a female MC. Although she looks more like a boy than a girl in my opinion. So the strongest dragon in the game was defeated and he got divided into 6 artifacts that is being kept by the ones who defeated him. And now his sister Ignis is out to collect those artifacts to revive him. Now for the storyline, it isn't all that new for me, honestly. I have seen lots of other manhwas that follow the same trend, but none of them had a female main character. And this is what I think makes this manhwa unique, since there aren't a lot of good manhwas out there with a female lead. Probably because they're not as appreciated as manhwas with a male lead, but who knows, I might be wrong. God of Death. Karang Mohan is a cheap loan shark who suddenly died in a car accident. A few months after his death, a mysterious black hole suddenly appeared, and now his goal is to become the ruler of the underworld. To be completely honest with you guys, if I were you, I wouldn't read this manhwa, but I'm not you, so I guess it's okay to recommend this. Although I'm as lost as can be about what the whole point of this manhwa is, it's so confusing and boring that I couldn't even make it past chapter 30. I'm surprised I even made it that far, but it feels like I'm trashing on this manhwa way too much, so now I'm gonna tell you guys all the good things about this manhwa. Well, on to number 3. Death God. Now, I'm not really sure if this manhwa qualifies to be on this list or not, since there's not much to go off of. The story is in its early stages, but it's basically about a homeless boy who saw his brother got killed and decided to take revenge with the help of his special ability, I'm guessing, that can talk to animals. But so far it's only been rats, but I'm pretty sure we'll see more of it as the story progresses. But yeah, after that, he got rescued by someone and they've been on the run ever since. As of right now, I have no clue where this manhwa is headed, but I'm just hoping that it doesn't disappoint me since it has the potential to turn into something good. But otherwise, the art and the translation are pretty decent, nothing too over the top. The Reborn Rancor. Legendary Triple S rank hunter Kang Teha finally met his end, but just as he prepares to enter eternal sleep, he awakens once more in Imperial China. So we've seen necromancers in the virtual world and even in the modern world, but have you seen a necromancer in ancient China? Well, I think it depends what you call a necromancer, but hopefully you get the point. So this dude was killed in his previous life by an old man, even though he was supposed to be the strongest. But we all know what happens to those self-proclaimed strongest in manhwas. They either die or end up being insanely weak, then instantly gets overpowered for some reason. Yeah, it's a manhwa thing these days. So after all that, he gets reincarnated in ancient China and slowly regains his lost power. And I think that's pretty much all there is to say. Everything is just slightly at the average point, but when you're like me and you've read so many manhwas that you can barely find anything to read, you'll settle for anything you can find. It doesn't matter if it's good or not. The Low Necromancer. Seung-woo is a former Special Forces soldier who has returned to college after completing his national service. His ordinary life as a student is shattered during class one day when he and his fellow students are faced with a mysterious prompt asking them to select a role. Seung-woo chooses the Necromancer, a rare ability that grants him the power to control the undead. Now, if this had a rating, I'm sure it would be family friendly since all the monsters just look like something you'd find in a kid's cartoon. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. Maybe you have people that like those kinds of monsters that probably brings back memories from your childhood. I don't know, I'm just guessing here. This manhwa isn't really all that much about fighting. Or maybe it is, but everything is too cute and soft for me to even consider as an action manhwa. Although my type of action might be considered too graphic for most people, so I guess I can't say too much on that, but honestly speaking, this is a pretty solid read. Well, I can guarantee that you'll at least make it to chapter 2. Hopefully. And as you guys have already guessed, we've come to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any questions, or if you want me to do any recommendations, or maybe you just want to say something stupid, yeah, I don't know. You know where the comment section is, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next video.